In this video I am continuing to raid your fortresses, and I found an absolutely horrible one, filled to the brim with scary high-level Nurgle and Flame of War orcs. Will I be able to survive and overcome these juiced up powerful orcs? Or will I humiliate myself yet again in the online fort raids? If you like this kind of content, then consider subscribing, but if you don't want to, then it's alright. Alright, the first fortress I'm loading up here belongs to Crimson1234. He says, I want to see my fort strength, hee hee! Nernan is my strongest one on PlayStation 5. Fantastic lad, I'm heading there right now. I quickly destroy the 2 siege beasts. And then while I'm jumping into the first point, I accidentally hit the goddamn post with my fiery Helm Hammerhand hammer. That is not a good start to the fort raid, but anyway, let's take a look at his orcs. He's got a lovely yellow painted chosen Olog. And he's got Lorm the Legendary. That name really rolls off the tongue. I like Lorm. Oh, and he's also got this guy. I remember him from my Xbox fort raids. This guy looks the exact goddamn same. I thought he was kind of unique on Xbox, but if he always looks like this, then maybe he isn't that unique at all.
You will die right here, right now. You will not get anywhere near the king.
Damn, that's disappointing. His audio is incredibly basic as well. That sucks. I use my Elven Light to spread fire and apparently hornets all around the first point. I then proceed to be hunted down by Lorm the Legendary. Calm down, lad. Calm down. I decide to make him relax the only way I know how, through explosive therapy. But while I am doing this, I am actually hit by a rogue arrow, and I am down. My goodness. But thankfully Lorm is so dazed that whenever he wakes up, he just kind of doesn't even go for the kill. He doesn't even realize that I was down. I then decide to get up onto the tower and clear out these pesky archers. Once that's taken care of, I see that one of my lads is about to bleed out, and also 2 of these orcs are broken. So I'm going to go ahead and take the point. Once that's done, I begin to get my lad back on his feet, but that is the exact moment that I am taken out by the Forge Claw with his triple attack. The cheeky goddamn bugger almost gets the kill as well. Once I get back up, I am filled with rage, and I try to take it out on this bloody banner. And while doing this, I accidentally take out Lorm the Legendary. I mean, I meant to kill him in this awesome way. I also love that his body kind of melted into the Drake. I continue my awesome run of carnage by burning the Forge Claw. Come to think of it, I actually don't know if I've ever seen the Forge Claw spawning into my game naturally. I feel like I've only ever seen him in the online fort raids. Leave a comment down below, lads, if you have any information about the Forge Claw. Have any of you actually, or do any of you even remember seeing him spawning into your game? Or does he just live permanently in the online matrix?
Breaking your sword was just for starters. Now I will break your body and offer it to the Dark Lord himself.
Oh wow, I think it's kind of rare to have a chosen Olog break your sword. Usually he becomes like the breaker or something like that, so that's kind of interesting. Also, you might notice I do have my threshing sword right now. I didn't have it in my last video. It is back and I am so glad, but for now I'm just going to use this chosen to piggyback me around. He is my chosen piggybacker.
Piggyback!
But the ride comes to an abrupt ending, very sadly, because I'm still trying to get the achievement to actually take out another orc while riding an Olog. And speaking of breaker orcs, just then disaster strikes as one of the defending Ologs takes out my Masu the Breaker. He is a breaker, but he's more known as the lad that loves to summon in ghouls because he's a den mother. So that's very sad. I just lost my ghoul advantage for the rest of this fort raid. I then fire a hammer into the chosen, which sends this crossbow flying at me. If this was a bad 3D movie from the early 2000s, you would be terrified right about now. I answer this blatant piece of disrespect by stabbing the chosen in the gut.
I was following the will of Sauron when I broke your little toy, but I still took pleasure in it. Remember that after I'm gone.
Oh, I feel kind of bad that his dying wish was for me to remember that he broke my sword, but it's not even the right Talion. It's the wrong guy, lad. I am sorry, mate. This guy's honestly had a real stinker. Imagine being named the Chosen by Sauron himself, given a cursed weapon, and then this asshole ranger comes along and piggyback rides you, stabs you in the gut, and then your only rebuttal, your final words, are telling him that you broke his sword, even though you actually didn't. Ah, dear Chosen, you've had an absolute stinker, lad. Continuing to take the point, I get my painless lad back on his feet. And then I shame down one of the broken orcs, the warmonger.
You don't deserve death. Shame!
I then get another one of my downed orcs back on their feet, while my charcoal log runs around on fire.
I'm a fire! Okay.
I then have a massive lapse of judgment as I am downed by the Painseeker. Thankfully though, I'm able to block it, get back on my feet, and then I fight him until he's ready to be shamed. I want to make him just like my painless Olog, so I'm going to make him go crazy. I don't think it's fair that he can feel pain and my lad can't.
I can feel it! I can feel it!
I start smashing hammers into the orcs and hitting them with my fiery elven light, but that ends up only downing my own shark orc. I then come face to face with a GameStop worker.
Every time I face man-swine like you, the result is the same. I'm tired of it.
It's a Jaded, but thankfully it's not a Hoglick the Jaded. I then try to recruit the GameStop worker over to my side. But it seems like his contract is iron tight. He refuses me, and rather than taking the easy way out by shaming him, I decide to give him a hammer to the face, a fiery elven light to the back.
Well, at least this whole tired life is over now.
And then a sword to the heart. With Walmart now down one employee, I head back and we take the point. I then get my shark back up on his feet. But before leaving this point, I spot a lovely pirate-looking lad. And I figured since one of my orcs is already dead, I can recruit this guy without feeling like I'm cheesing the fort. Also, I can never say no to a rogue-looking pirate. Upon arriving at the next point, I completely destroy the Bone Licker Olaf. I then see that two of my lads are down, so I take the point to get them back on their feet. But before I can do that, I'm being hunted down by a very, very angry shield bearer. Thankfully though, I'm able to give him the slip for a few seconds while I get these lads back up. I then start peppering him up with hammers before my lad finishes the job. Heading on into the inner gate, I see a lovely crossbow, unashamed lad, and I have a bit of a chat with him.
Thought you were done with me when you shamed me, did you? I surpassed your pathetic efforts to humiliate me.
I also think that in my actual playthrough, I've not seen it unashamed yet, so I wouldn't mind grabbing one of them. But sadly, this is a friendly raid, so I'm not able to recruit orcs. Even though there's absolutely nothing friendly about this, and I'm about to absolutely destroy this lad's fortress and humiliate him in front of all of you. And with that being said, I take the point. I quickly suck on an orc, which has become tradition in these videos.
Delicious.
And then I head to the final point where I take it immediately. I delimb the unashamed. I smash a hammer into the face of the corruptor, and then I do the same with the Caragor Tamer. And then for the final orc, I decide to do a bit of a trick shot, jumping off this random grunt and smashing hammers directly into his noggin before finishing him off with a flaming hammer. His body goes absolutely flying and lands off the ledge beside my feet. With that now added to my badass confirmation, I head on into the throne room. Wait. Lads, if you've made it this far into the video, you might as well goddamn subscribe. What are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. God, I sound like a douchebag when I do these moments, but honestly, it would be nice if more of you subscribed. Also, I've got a second channel now, which will be linked in the description of this video. If you want to go and check it out, I post longer form videos there, so yeah, it's a fun time all around. Alright, back to the video.
Made it this far. I get to see the suffering in your eyes up close.
If it is pain you seek, then you're in luck.
It's nice to have Talion still being articulate at this point. You know, he's like half Nazgul, half Talion, so he still speaks and he still fires out those goddamn classic Talion zingers. But at the same time, he's got a bit of a sort of cool Nazgul look going on. Taking a look at this Overlord, he's pretty good. I mean, he's 5'7", 6'6". His bodyguard, the Quick Blades, is also good. He's got throwing knives and no chance, which is a fantastic combination. I go ahead and I summon in my lovely legendary bodyguard. And a Graug for good measure. What is absolutely goddamn lovely though is that the Overlord is not arrow-proof, and he's also not massive effing hammer directly inserted into his skull-proof. So I quickly run around and grab a wee cheeky refill and then continue my lord's job. Oh yes, look at this. Get out of here, Olog. Okay, never mind, you can stay. But I get massively overconfident and I did not know that he had his homing missile axes. And all I can say is thank goodness one of the bodyguards didn't run in and steal the kill, because that can happen. Sometimes if they have no chance, it just overrides whichever orc actually downed you. So that freaks me out a little bit and definitely humbles me, so I'm a lot more cautious now for the rest of this throne room. I quickly suck on an orc real quick in the corner, and then I decide that I should go and have a little meeting with this frog bloodline.
An artist talk. Even if you kill me, my work lives on.
Yeah, I can feel the poison from your goddamn homing missile axes coursing through my disgusting Nazgul veins right now, lad. It feels good. It feels delicious. It feels tasty. After getting in close and not really having any damage dealt to me, my confidence comes back.
I've got my mojo back.
And because my mojo is back, I'm able to get in close and then finish off this Overlord with a goddamn threshing explosion. Look at that, it's so bloody cinematic. And with that, I have taken the Fortress of Crimson. Well done, lad, that was a nice fortress. It was pretty strong, but ultimately it did fall. So, you're trash, you're terrible. And you've also got some serious work to do to make this stronger. I'm gonna come back here in 1 year on this exact date, and I expect this fortress to be 10 times stronger, with the throne room consisting of all frog bloods, alright? That is your mission, Crimson. Moving on swiftly to my next victim, we've got the Mortal Wolf, who says Nurian Overlord likes to poison some of his war chiefs. Well, I'd love to see that. Maybe he's not poisoning them. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe he's like Baga and he's giving them tonics, you know, to make them stronger. Either way, I want to see this poisonous Overlord. Taking a look at his Overlord, and yes, he is the poisoner. He's got all the bottles. We've got a Flame of War, a Brawl Master. We've got a Rot Beast. We've got a Reckless who's very scarred and unashamed and disgusting. There are so many goddamn poisoned Nurgle orcs on PlayStation that I'm noticing. But look at this guy. He does love the poison. He's also got no chance in throwing knives, which we goddamn love. Yeah, again, just so many poisoned plague Nurgle orcs on PlayStation and Flame of Wars. They love it over here. Diving on into the fortress, I actually jump atop the siege beast and I fire some of the poison balls over at the first point. This is something that I normally wouldn't do because I always feel like it has no effect. But whenever I get over there, I can see that it actually is taking a toll on every single captain defending the first point. Smashing on in, I am very surprised to see a level 70. This is not the challenge that I was promised.
This battle is beneath me.
I then meet the first two captains, and of course they are both burn victims. What is going on with the PlayStation forts? I then put the Drog Burner out of his misery.
You're already good as dead.
Stand your ground, you idiot!
I destroy Baga the Fire Caller with hammers.
Why me? Why me?
Before cutting his head off. This is another burned orc. What is every orc is either burned or plagued on PlayStation. What the hell? And before I can take any more burn victim lives, I take the point. My shark then takes out the Reckless Olog. I've got a feeling this is going to be the biggest scar that you add to your collection. I then shame down the Flame of War, and then I proceed to cause absolute Oppenheimer havoc at the next point. Smashing on down to the fourth point, I see that 3 of my lads are not doing so good. But my arrival clearly inspires my troops as the blizzard takes out the Rot Beast. Why are there so many plague orcs? But right after saying that, I meet what I consider to be the king of the plagues. This orc that I'm about to show you is definitely one of Nurgle's chosen. As he leaps out of the group of orcs in slow motion, you can see just how terrifying he is.
On your knees, maggot! You're not fit to even look upon our master.
Just look at this guy. Bear in mind, this is on PlayStation, so it's not modded and it's not hacked. It might potentially be slightly glitched, but this is crazy. I mean, look at this guy. He's even got like striking blue eyes on top of everything else that's going on here. And he's very much distracting me because 5 of my orcs are down. And then just like that, we lose the breaker. I dive over another plague orc's head, desperate to get my boys back up. And I am legitimately saved by one of my grunts. This is the best example of get down, Mr. President, that I've ever seen in the game. You, sir, are an absolute goddamn hero.
I will remember you.
Get down, Mr. President!
Thanks to that noble sacrifice, I'm able to get all of my lads back on their feet. And since one of my guys did go down permanently, I'm going to recruit one of these orcs. And I think the name of this lad is quite fitting. I then begin to clear out these infected Nurgle orcs. These abominations, these plague bearers. I then take on the final boss. I mean, he's not the final boss, but I really think he should be the overlord. Look at how goddamn cool he is. I'm definitely going to be judging the overlord against this guy. Also, recording this video has made me really want to do another shopping spree. I want these orcs for myself. If you guys would like to see me doing a shopping spree and getting my rank up so that I can fight the best forts in the goddamn world, then leave a comment down below. I said leave a comment down below and like the video. I take the second to last point. And then for a split second, I think about recruiting a plague orc, but only for a split second. I come to my senses and toss him away. I try to cleanse the poison by throwing him into the fire, but it's not enough. It's not burning hot enough. So I decide to take him out the good old-fashioned way.
You will never shame me now. Never!
Also, I do have to acknowledge just how cool this orc is. He's an unashamed, but he's also a plague unashamed. I have never seen that before. While heading on into the final point, we get some team killing as the traitor lives up to his name and takes out a disgusting blight orc. I take the final point and then I eradicate the final diseased orc, this time with fire. All of my lads begin to celebrate and I head on into the throne room. Where I can finally meet the poisoned overlord, and I actually just got it! The overlord has poisoned all the captains defending the fortress. Okay, wow, this is actually quite a well thought out fortress. This might be the top of the unique leaderboard for sure.
It seems like you have a tenuous grasp on the English language in general.
And wow, he's absolutely goddamn crazy. Of course, he's got no chance in throwing knives, which makes this a little bit more difficult. Not exactly more difficult, but definitely, well, more dangerous. I've got to be more careful. Everything is balanced though, so even if they have throwing knives and no chance, they're probably going to be pretty squishy. I summon in my lovely bodyguard and I summon in my big pet. I then take a look at the Overlord's bodyguards, and you guessed it! They have been poisoned! They are diseased! We've got Nakra the Bloated. And we've got an amazing looking Horza the Deathmonger. That is another amazing looking orc. I continue spreading cleansing fire, but of course the poisoner is immune to it. Probably because he's the only orc in this fortress who is not diseased and plague-ridden. I decide to try and focus on Horza the Deathmonger because he is already broken. I begin to cleanse him with threshing sword explosions, but as I'm doing this, I drop my guard, and I am hit by a long-range spear. And of course the Overlord steals the execution, he goes in with his no chance, but I'm able to guess it! I'm able to block it! Woo!
That was close!
Utterly terrified by this experience, I retreat. I grab some more hammers, and I quickly... You know what I'm doing there.
Today is especially delicious.
I then start laying hammers into the orcs from long range because I am still very much shaken from that experience. And while I'm hitting the Overlord with hammers, the Deathmonger seemingly gets hit by the shockwave. I run in to go and have a chat with the Overlord, but first I've got to keep this bodyguard at bay.
Getting awful.
Yep, he's still crazy, just had to check. I hit him with an execution, then I hit him with a hammer. He falls to the ground, I hit him again on the floor, and he is pretty much broken, but he's very, very angry. My bodyguard then gives him a love tap, and I finish him off with a massive helm hammer hand to the back of the head. That was very, very close. I had to clutch up there at the end. But well done to the mortal wolf. This was a very interesting and fun fortress. And I almost lost it there at the end, but I goddamn didn't. Because your forts are all trash on PlayStation, that's right, I'm continuing this narrative, even though I almost lost.
Subscribe for more of that delicious Shadow of War content. Come on, it's probably free to do. And if it isn't, maybe it's worth the money. I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet, but you can trust me. I'm an anonymous voiceover. Those are very trustworthy.